Why take 2 pills when you can just take 1? Welcome to the Clinicians Roundtable on ReachMD XM 157, the channel for medical professionals. I'm Bruce Japsen, the healthcare reporter for the Chicago Tribune, and with me today is Tim Walbert, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Horizon Therapeutics. Horizon is currently developing a pill that provides pain relief while reducing the risk of stomach ulcers. Walbert is familiar with developing and marketing products in their late stages, and this is a product that they hope to get approved in the next year. He was involved in the early launch of the arthritis drug Celebrex as an executive at the former G.D. Searle & Company in Skokie, and has become a blockbuster for Pfizer, generating more than $2 billion in sales a year. Walbert was also key to the launch of Abbott Laboratories' popular rheumatoid arthritis drug Humira. Walbert is president and CEO of IDM Pharma in Irvine, California as well, a developer of drugs used to activate the immune system and treat cancer. Tim Walbert, welcome to ReachMD, the channel for medical professionals.
Thank you, Bruce.
Well, it's great to have you here from your new offices in Skokie, Illinois, and I wanted to talk to you, if I will. I mean, this trend of combination pills, a lot of the big companies are getting into it, and you guys are getting into it as well. So if you could just tell us a little bit about that and your company, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure, Bruce. Well, thanks for asking. And one of the real challenges that patients have, especially with so many comorbid conditions, is the fact that they have many different prescriptions to take, and often the ability for them to remain compliant with co-prescribed agents is a real challenge. And when you look at the category of patients who are taking these pain relievers or nonsteroidal agents, only about 27% of these patients actually take a co-prescribed GI protective agent. And to take one step back, the real challenge of patients who take agents like ibuprofen or naproxen is they get very good pain relief, but the problem is about 25% of these patients actually get ulcers in their stomach. And often patients are prescribed GI protective agents like Pepcid or famotidine to protect them from getting these ulcers, but only about 27% of them actually take those co-prescribed medications, leaving them unprotected against these serious adverse events. And that's what Horizon is focusing on with our lead product, and that product is a combination of the well-known product ibuprofen, known over the counter as Advil, and the GI protective agent known as famotidine or Pepcid over the counter. And it's a proprietary combination of these two agents to provide effective pain relief for patients with pain and arthritis, and the protection against these ulcers all in one pill to enable patients to get the protection they need.
Now, this seems like something that it's almost surprising. It's a new phenomenon, the whole idea of a combination pill, because when you consider the number of elderly and baby boomers and so forth, that this is all of a sudden really taking off. And I'm wondering, why necessarily is that? I mean, part of it could be the Vioxx situation too, I guess.
Part of it is Vioxx, and with the withdrawal of Vioxx, the COX-2 agents had a promise around reducing the estimated 16,000 deaths and 100,000 hospitalizations due to these serious GI events from ulcers in taking pain relievers. The problem with the COX-2s is, we all know, is the cardiovascular aspects. And while they did a great job in reducing the hospitalizations and deaths resulting from taking pain relievers, they had an equal risk of cardiovascular issues. So the real challenge is to be able to give these patients the pain relief they need and prevent the ulcers and complications that come with them. And because we know silent diseases such as ulcers from taking pain relievers and hypertension, people often don't take agents and don't remember to take something that doesn't necessarily hurt them like pain. So the trend towards combination products is most often beneficial in areas where you have symptoms or causes that come about without warning, such as these ulcers.
And also in the case of your product, for our listeners, who a lot of them are physicians, would be you're taking something that's a tried and true product in both instances, really, and I suppose then you wouldn't have the worry of perhaps something new and improved. And I'm wondering if you see that to be a trend where companies will say, hey, we know these two products work. Why don't they we just combine them into something new?
Bruce, you bring up a great point, and that's something with the Vioxx situation and what we've seen with a number of different agents in the diabetes categories is the fact that many of these novel agents that come out, typically you don't see adverse events emerge for a few years, and after they've been tried in hundreds of thousands or millions of patients. The benefit with our product and combination of existing therapies is that ibuprofen and famotidine, the two products in our novel product, both have had probably upwards of 100 million or more prescriptions and been used in thousands upon thousands of patients, and they're very well known by the physician community. And also from an FDA perspective, you see a retrenchment among FDA to really being concerned about safety and unknown side effects. And with agents that are proven and been used by physicians, the regulatory risk that is much more reduced. And you saw this most recently evidenced with Cordaptive from Merck, which was a combination product, but was a combination of one established existing agent and a novel compound, and FDA did have issues with the novel compound because of some of the long-term safety concerns. So certainly the trend towards combination agents, especially those with proven established products with known adverse events, is something that we expect to continue over time.
Well, if you're just joining us, or even if you're new to our channel, you're listening to the Clinicians Roundtable on ReachMD XM 157. I'm Bruce Japsen of the Chicago Tribune, and joining me today is Tim Walbert. He's a longtime drug marketing executive who is the chief executive officer of Horizon Therapeutics, which was recently moved from California to the Chicago suburb of Skokie, Illinois. And we're talking about combination pills. Horizon is developing a combination pill that takes Pepcid and a arthritis pill that's been around for a long time. And we were just talking about the fact that this could be a new phenomenon because it's taking older pills and combining them. And Tim, that is possibly a new innovation for the drug companies because, let's face it, the FDA is slowing drug approvals.
That certainly is the case, Bruce, and there's been a significant slowing in new chemical entities, but we see it at Horizon as a great opportunity to take a huge unmet need where patients on a regular basis have a great need for pain relief from whether that's low back pain or from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, but are concerned about the GI effects that go with taking agents like ibuprofen. And with our combination product, we believe we're going to be giving physicians the confidence of providing pain relief without the concern for the GI effects. And certainly this is a trend that we see moving forward in a much more positive way, given FDA's aversion to the risks of novel therapies.
And I don't know how much you can tell us. Your product, I don't think, has a name yet, but when do you expect it on the market? And also, it probably doesn't face quite the lengthy approval process, I would think, since we're dealing with two drugs that have already been out there.
Well, Bruce, the product is currently known by the name of HZT501. It entered phase 3 trials in March of 2007, and we expect to have our results from our phase 3 clinical trials here in the fourth quarter of 2008 with the hope of filing a new drug application to the FDA towards the middle of 2009 in hopes of being on the market in early to mid-2010. So certainly when you're dealing with known compounds, the standard review time from FDA is 10 months on new drug applications, and we would expect that there would not be any great need for extensions or new reviews of data due to the known aspect of the two agents being combined here.
And do you see a challenge in marketing the product to physicians? The product Caduet comes to mind. Pfizer, I know, is spending a lot of money on marketing it to consumers. It combines a cholesterol drug with a blood pressure medication, I believe. Do you see the marketing of these combination pills as a challenge?
I do see it as a challenge from the perspective of Caduet, which is a combination, I think, of amlodipine and Lipitor, or Norvasc and Lipitor. And the challenge there is they're trying to treat two different diseases, hypertension and hypercholesterolemia. In our case, I don't see it as much of a challenge because essentially you're providing the pain relief that patients need, and the famotidine compound that's included is essentially to protect against the adverse events of ibuprofen, the pain reliever. So it's more an agent that's being added to protect from the benefits of the ibuprofen. So less of a marketing challenge, and one that I've done before. We launched the product Arthurtech in the United States in 1998 at Searle Pharmaceuticals, and that was a combination of diclofenac or Voltaren, the pain reliever, and the protective agent Cytotec in one individual pill. And that's something that, because it was for the same areas such as pain relief or arthritis, the marketing was not a challenge.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point, because you already know with people who have arthritis that if they take these pills long enough, there's a large number of them that do develop stomach problems. And so I suppose that it would be easier to market that than some of these other pills.
Absolutely. We do believe that, because it's essentially a protective agent, for the benefit of pain relief, that it actually poses a great advantage to the existing therapies on the market.
And I know that this is something that your friends in the drugstore industry ask. Are these drugs going to be, will they be priced like brand names? I mean, would it be less expensive just to take two generics, or if you could respond to that a little bit?
You bring up a great point, and this is one that is discussed in many different venues in the broader consumer media and among physicians. And the challenge with our drug is to take them separately. You would have a twice-a-day dosage of famotidine or Pepcid and a 3-times-a-day dosage of ibuprofen. And what we do know is, from a patient compliance point of view, it's much easier to take one pill than remembering to take both pills. And in our compound, it's not just throwing together two compounds. We've actually done work to change the dosing of famotidine 2-3 times a day and putting it together in one pill in combination with ibuprofen. We are doing the full standard phase 3 studies to show that this particular combination, structured and dosed as it is, will show a greater than 2-fold reduction in the incidence of these NSAID-caused ulcers.
Well, with that, I would like to thank Tim Walbert, who has been our guest. He's the president and CEO of Horizon Therapeutics, which is developing combination pills, pills that treat more than one condition all in one pill. You'll be hearing more about Horizon going forward, because they are looking into a pill that treats a common problem, arthritis patients who have stomach issues. I'm Bruce Japsen of the Chicago Tribune. We'd like to thank Tim for being our guest. If you have comments or suggestions about today's show, please call us at 888-MD-XM157. And I'd like to thank you today for listening.